Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to the Impact Podcast. My name is Jessica Taylor, and my amazing host, co-host over here, Ryan Boswick. We welcome you guys, and today we have on your agent, John Clark, all the way from snowy Ohio. What's up, John?
What is shaking, guys? I appreciate you having me on here. You got a dope intro, by the way. I like that.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So, John, tell us a little bit about who you are, how you went from, first off, let me just back up a little bit. Your energy is amazing. So I just can't imagine how the development of your life kind of progressed. So I just want to know who you are and where you came from and what makes you who you are today.
Yes. Well, I was actually hoping to get on here and find a little bit out about that myself. So, no, it's a bonus plan. Hopefully by the end of this, we both learned something. No, man, so since birth, I've been a sales guy pretty much, I think. So it's, and this has been on a couple of interviews, but I got to start since you said from the beginning, right? So I'm a military brat. My father is a helicopter pilot in the Army. And so we moved every 3 years my entire life. It's probably why I love all people. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, what your religion is. I kind of have this mentality where I think like a military person, in my opinion, that if somebody had my six in battle, right, and I turned around and this person's the one that saved my life, would it matter to me what they did in their bedroom or what religion they were or what color they were or anything, right? It's just a matter of that they're cool or they're not cool to me. And that person to me is cool, and they're my brother or sister for life regardless. So that's why I like everybody, and I think you can learn from people is because of that background. But then the sales thing was like, back then my mom used to have this loom, you make like pot holders, for stoves and stuff. And so we made them as kids, 6, 8 years old. And I used to bring my little brothers 2.5 years younger than me. We go cold call, door to door and sell them and sell pot holders. And so that was the beginning of my sales career. And then, of course, the lawnmowers and going on from there. And then, it's always been working. I've always worked. I don't know why the hustle was in me. It's always been in me. It's a weird thing, even with me now, with being in real estate and doing fairly well. I still can't pass up a deal when I see somebody slipping on Facebook on an old school BMX bike and I get them for it, because I know I can clean it up in 10 minutes and make $150. It's, $150. It's not
hustler.
It has nothing to do with the cash. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with that process and me pulling that from somebody, knowing I can do something with very little or no money out of pocket, just a little bit of effort, put it right back on in a lot better description with a better picture and get that money and show my son. See, I'm never going hungry. I won't eat out of trash cans. That's not going to happen, man, because I don't have pride. I mean, I have pride. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like how other people, I don't chase checks, man. I chase the process. I want to get you what you want. So Miss Jessica wants a house over here. Miss Jessica's going to get the damn house over here. If you can, that's
damn straight I am.
You qualify, I'm saying? There's things that we've got to do, but I don't leave. My wife is entirely too hot for me, and my kid's too cool for me to ever leave this house unless I'm going to win. So my time is the most important thing to me. And so I live by my calendar and all that jazz. So to backtrack, since I obviously keep on going, sorry.
It's fine. Perfect. We love it. Yeah. Give it to us.
I've been a retail background, restaurant background. Left high school, moved to Berlin, Germany a couple weeks before the wall came down. Played soccer over in Europe for a few years, traveled around. Did a lot of things guys lie about. Most guys lie about. And then moved to California and danced on MTV The Grind for 8 of the 16 episodes of Malibu Beach House.
What? That's awesome.
And then did a pilot for a dating game show called Buzz that ended up making it to the network. And then I left there and moved to Manhattan with my buddy, who was my best friend. Funny enough, we just finalized some vacation plans for this summer, which is awesome, after 15 years to get our families together. But anyway, moved to Manhattan and promoted nightclubs in Manhattan for a few years. Moved back here, met this chick, entirely too hot for me, snatched her up, and I've been with her.
Now I just need to see your wife. Do you have a picture of her?
Oh, God bless America. Yeah, give me a second, though, so while we're talking. So we were friends for 6 months, and then I, ended up breaking it down to her. And see, it's obviously not the grill. I'm not built, like a champ, but I've got a silver tongue. I'm a closer for sure. So I got this girl who's entirely too hot for me. And so now I just got to keep her happy and keep her laughing. It's got to be keeping her giggling because it can't be this. So anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Having a good. So I'll show you a picture here shortly, though. But
absolutely.
So then, so really, then I was in retail for a while. It was actually funny enough when I wanted to eventually break it down to her, and her family's from Virginia, and my formative years were Alabama. So I'm a yes, ma'am, no, sir. We ask for permission to marry, kind of thing. Oh hell, you're in North Carolina, you know what's going on, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
So if y'all do it out there, there's a shotgun waiting for you sometimes. You know what I mean? So just in
they
case,
don't like you. Yeah, you better run.
Her
run
mom
for the heels, my friend.
Her mom doesn't sound like she's ever been out of Virginia to this day, and she's been gone for 30 plus years. And she could call me a bastard in that accent, and I would ask for it again because she is the sweetest accent you ever heard.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Right, there you go. That's exactly. So anyway, so I was working at Osterman Jewelers out here, and I did that on purpose because I was running a couple of retail stores in the malls. Decided to go work in jewelry because I knew I'd get a pretty good discount, and I could finally break it down to her, right? So I asked permission for her dad. He said, of course, that's cool. And of course, that story's even funnier, but we don't have time.
Oh, come on. Let's hear it. I want to hear it after this.
Bring it up. Yeah, come on now.
Okay. So and I'll give you the end cap here with me and the wife so you can make fun of us once we get off of here. So when I knew I wanted to marry this girl, her father and I were going with her brother who was getting married this next year to his bachelor party, and it was down at the boats in Indiana, which is we've got gambling boats, right, where you can get on there and do casino boats. And so my strategy was there's like 15 dudes there, and my strategy is her dad doesn't turn it up like a champ, like drinking like a champ anymore or anything like that, but he'll have one every once in a while. So my strategy was this man will be winning and or buzzing like a fire alarm. And that's when I'm going to break down how much I love his daughter. And if
getting real drunk,
if I'm allowed to ask her, you know what I mean? And so funny enough, we're all sitting there and I wasn't playing, and I like gambling, but I wasn't playing and I was waiting to kind of see, and this dude's playing penny slots, right? So, okay, we're not going to wait for him to get rich. We're not waiting for him to get rich and hit that. And even if he hits a jackpot, I'm probably not going to be, overly excited. And so we're sitting there, and I'm watching like a Caribbean stud game for like the first time, like watching one, right? Like I've seen it a couple times, but never really trying to pay attention to more of the rules. I just never jumped into one. So the lady's trying to teach me, and all my brother-in-law's friends are around the table, including my brother-in-law. And my father-in-law, I had no idea where he was. I thought he was still over the penny slots. And these dudes were like, "Hey man, so when are you gonna do it?" They all knew I was up. They all knew. When are you gonna ask him? I'm like, dude, come on, man. I'm gonna wait till he's buzzing or he's winning. I'm like, and he's over here on these penny slots right now. He's not breaking the bank anytime soon. And they're pissing their pants laughing. Oh, excuse me, they're peeing their pants laughing.
You're fine. You're good.
Okay, and I look over. I'm like, slowly look to my side, and he's 5-6 feet over, looking at another table. But obviously this mouse.
He knows.
Come on.
Yeah.
You can hear me and Nom, right now. So I'm like, I'm freaking out. And I'm like, well, I better grab him now, So I go ahead and grab him and say, "Hey, Rick, can we go outside?" Now, listen, this is like December, and you know what I'm talking about, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's cold right now. And it was like, I wear Chuck Taylors, man. Like I collect these things, right? Like Yanks hats and Chuck Taylors. And dude, I don't know what I was thinking. I was wearing them that night, and it was ice out there. Dude, we're out there. I'm like skating because I brought him outside to have some privacy. We're both freezing. I'm saying I love your daughter more than anything.
He's like, get to the point.
I swear I'm not going to. Basically, this is where it goes. I'm like, I swear I'm not going to marry her until I know I can take care of her. But I want her, because at this point, it's 4 years together. I'm like, I want her to know that I'm serious, though, and that there's a future here. But, it'll be down the line to make sure that we're all comfortable. And just, and he's like, son, he goes, the whole family loves you all the way to Virginia because I've been down there a few times. He goes, well, we all love you. He goes, and she loves you. He goes, that's fine with me. Now, can we get our asses inside right now? And I'm like, yes, sir. We get inside. So I'm assuming that was a yes because,
That was actually brilliant. That was a trap for you. Like, hey, you can't go inside until you say yes.
That was it. I figured I'm going to keep him out frozen, or he'll go over the side. Something happened. No, I'm just joking. No. So here's the cheesy part. You can make fun of us later. So when I asked her to like kind of date. And I was actually kind of hung out. We were friends for 6 months, right? Like, so she dated someone. She dated someone I knew that was in a relationship for 5 years for a 1 month period when they broke up. So I never thought that I'd really date her because this person was pretty close to me. And so I basically dated a couple of her friends that were pretty tight with her. And only because I never thought it was
that's like the golden no right there.
Well, because you never thought like what's going to happen. That happened. So this might as well, because she only has hot friends. So anyway,
it works.
So this all happened, and then I was supposed to date her friend kind of exclusively when she came back for the summer. And that night when we were cutting a rug and having a good time, I look over at my current wife, and she looks like she's jealous. And I at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm drinking, so I'm thinking, yeah. There's no chance in hell that's what she's thinking, but I was thinking she was thinking that. So I'm like, you know what? So we go drop her friend and her off. We drop them off, and then when I'm dropped this back then, she's 19. I'm dropping her off at her parents' house, and I look over my roommate, Stretch, my buddy, and I'm like, my man, I'm like, dude, I can't stop thinking about it. He goes, I don't know why the hell you're telling me. He's like, get the hell out of the car. And so right before she went in the house, I stopped her and I said, Linda, I can't be with your friend all summer when I'm thinking about you. We started kissing, and that was June 18th, 1998, and I've been with her every day since. And we're that cheesy couple, like, when you first start dating, you're like, oh, happy 1 month anniversary, happy 2 months. We've said happy anniversary on the 18th of every month for 23 years now. And it's not flower and candies. Now it's whoever says it first on that day gets to rouse the other one for the rest of the day, like they forgot. You know what I mean? Like, she'll give me a 12:01 because I'm passed out because I get up at 4 a.m. So at 9 o'clock, I'm in a coma. And so at 12:01, she's up doing something. She'll text me at 12:01 and be like, happy anniversary. Then I wake up in the morning, she totally forgot, like,
yes.
Like, what are you talking about? So it's fun now, but, it's our game. It's our thing.
I love that. That gave me chills. That's so wonderful. You guys are so in love after all of these years. And, when we do these interviews, we really don't know where things are going to go. So I'm going to take it down this route. What kind of advice would you give after all of these years of a loving, happy marriage? What advice would you give to someone who is a newlywed?
It's just like, well, hell, half of you guys can equate this to brokerages, right? I do my research before I go somewhere. This is the only brokerage I've ever, no offense to anybody else, but this is the only brokerage I've ever been to. Will be the only brokerage I will ever be at, unless something off the wall happens and somebody does some crazy, nutty stuff that just makes me think like, God bless, I can't work anymore, which I just can't see happening. I've never in my life, in all of the places I've worked, have ever been part of an organization with more value than with EXP. And I don't mean just what EXP offers. I mean, honestly, more the Honey Badger group and the people that I'm aligned with more than anything in the world. I've never been in a networking group in person, online, forced to go through my corporate world, anywhere that I went to before. I've never had more business reciprocated with the effort that I put out, because I get a lot of people in this country business for free. And that's only because I'm only trying to be, I want to be the Ohio concierge for real estate. If you need it, all you've got to do is call John Clark, no matter where you are in anywhere in the United States. If you need something and I don't happen to be the guy, you're not in Cincinnati or Dayton, I type in my phone. I don't know if you probably can't see that crap. Oh, well, maybe at an angle.
A little bit, yeah.
Wrong way. See this damn thing. Anyway, at an angle here, all these here, I have a blue diamond, EXP, and what city you are from and what city you're from. So since I'm online nonstop, when I see these things on Workplace or Honey Badger groups or anywhere for that matter, I instantaneously go in here, put in my blue diamond and type in Texas or Florida or North Carolina, and boom, instantly there. I snapshot the person's information. I tag them on the post, put their info on the post so everybody can see it. Because most people say, I'll help you, call me. And nobody wants to do that. They're lazy as shit. And so
no, it's so annoying.
What's annoying is when people don't say thank you. That's annoying. Okay. That's in anything in the world. Like, I tag so many damn people on stuff. I've got, I don't know how many jobs, just in the last 3 days, I've probably got 4 people hooked up. And those people are, don't get me wrong, not everybody. Most people are like, hey, man, appreciate you. How hard is that? I mean,
just say thank you.
That is it. Yeah. I'm not asking for money. I don't even send them my number and say, dude, give me back next time. No, I don't say I just tag you like, dude, I already know that you take care of, North Carolina. Bam, girl, I want you to handle this one. Because you know what's going to do? It's going to make you always think that John's a pretty nice guy. He doesn't just think about himself. Like, he's not an asshole that just thinks about himself, right? So maybe if you ever hear the words Ohio, you're like, you know what? I got this dude. I know he's like a crackhead when you talk to him, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. But the guy gets up at 4 a.m. and he works his butt off, and his hours are 5 to 9, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. How many people do you know that, get 8 hours in before most people have lunch? Not very many.
I love that.
I know I got funny looking hats and I'm a funny looking dude and I'm kind of out there and I like to make people joke, but nobody outworks me, period. And I'm sorry. So let me jump back for 2 seconds just to get us to this point real quick. Corporate world, restaurants ended up number 1 in the world for a multi-billion-dollar document destruction company, Shred It. They do document destruction of confidential information. You might see the big white trucks with the blue lettering. I mentored 140 people in my my peers at the same time. The first year, basically, I called the top 10 people. They needed somebody. I was an outside guy. Nobody goes from outside to inside. They go the other way. But I've been through all these new cars, over this time just from driving. I'm driving with one leg, setting appointments, doing all this crazy crap, setting appointments. I mean, it was crazy. And been hit a couple of times. Never had an accident. But dude, listen, when you're on the road, seriously, when you're on the road, it's funny, but when you're on the road that damn much every single day, like I drive an hour to Cincinnati to my office and then back to my territory in Dayton all day long. Like that's a lot of driving on 75 and 70. I mean, to only have been like hit twice and not killed is actually pretty damn lucky for me. But anyway,
thank God.
I was pretty good at that job with outside, and I just assume when they say, hey, look, man, I need somebody for inside for these 3 different branches. I got 2 monitors. I've got operations here, finance here, the management here. There's literally nothing I can't answer on spot. Like typically, I don't answer things if I don't know the answer for you. I don't lie to you. I don't know it, but give me 5 seconds. I know someone that does, and I get the answer and I come back every freaking time. I don't say, hey, not my fucking job. Call this dude. I don't do that. You can't do that. That's a jackass move, and I hate people that do that. That granted, yes, maybe it's not your job. In my opinion, it was your job. It was under other assigned duties. If you really, but you try to go above and beyond to help people, right? So I did. I called the top 10 people. Said, dude, what are you guys doing? I'm like, I want to be the best at this. What are you doing? Every single one of them, said this. They're all kind of almost cocky, sort of. It was like, make more calls. Really? I've been in sales since Moby Dick was a minnow, but you want to tell me to just pick up the phone one more time, right? Okay. All right, genius. Appreciate you. Click. I'll see you next year. Well, I started February 1st, so they had a month on me. I had my first year was 197% of my goal. Number 2 was at 131. I smoked them like crack. Guess what they did the next year? They all called me. What did you do last year? The difference between them and me is I opened up and said, this is exactly what I did. Besides the fact that you lit a fire under my ass with your stupid comments, I'm like, I found a way to pull myself out of the sea of sameness, and I went with it. And I also thanked my boys every single chance I got, because when I sell it, doesn't mean anything. It's just like when we write a contract and get under contract. That means nothing until it gets to the closing table, right? We've got an inspector we've got to thank. We've got our TC, if you got one, if you're lucky enough to have a badass one like me, who, if without her, I wouldn't even do this stupid job. No offense, love this job, never mind. It would be a stupid job if I didn't have her. There's things that make this job enjoyable. And there are things that if you took those away, they would not be. And so it's a team effort at all times. There's never a me situation. I used to buy my boys every quarter fat steaks from Costco, those big fat things. I would never eat one. Can't. I got to run around the shower to get wet. There's no way in hell I would be able to pull that off. But these dudes are big Sasquatch husky dudes that sling 100-pound bags all day. So I'd sit there and I'd cook them for them. Their whole meal, clean up after them, anything y'all need, and hit them off with gift cards every quarter. Because I can sell it all day long, but if they don't service it, I don't get credit for it, right? So nobody gets credit for it, and we don't get to go to exotic places and celebrate this at the end of the year and spoil your wife for a week, on the company, on your hard work. I always put a picture up, when I was making calls. I was picturing the place I was going at the end of the year. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing now for EXP, for EXPCon. I'm putting that up, And I'm looking at all these calls, and when I do stuff, I'm like, hell yeah, about to bring my wife out there and start introducing her to everybody. Because I feel like I know everybody now. I just haven't been able to get out and hug it out with you guys because, I don't go to these events very often because we've had all these stupid ass, excuse my mouth, all this bad stuff going on. I'm sorry. I have
it's okay. You're fine. I'll just make sure we mark not okay for children on this one. It'll be okay.
It's medical, it's correct, so it's totally cool.
No, this is all for older people mostly anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I left the corporate thing. I did that for second year. I was 267% of my goal while mentoring 140 people. I started doing a best practices email every week because I did it an hour early to research sales and research. I was following Grant Cardone. I was Ryan Stewman, the hardcore closer. My favorite dude in the whole world is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Because obviously my mouth, I don't know if you know him, but he curses a lot. But he's also the guy who understands that it's not about him at all. It's about everybody else around him. So, I mean, that's the whole gig with him. So there's, I did that and was coming from a place of abundance there. And man, I got to a point where I was just it was the pinnacle of my, I made more money as an inside guy than I did as an outside guy. And it was the year that we merged with our sworn enemy, 2014 Cintas, who we hated forever, right? So we merged with them. We were 60-40 partners. That's the year I blew the doors off the joint for the first year. The second year, we were bought for $2.2 billion by Stericycle, which is a company that does all the medical pickup stuff of waste, like the blood stuff and tissue and stuff like that after surgeries and jazz like that. So it kind of goes together because we take care of a lot of hospitals and financial. So they bought us for that. And that's the year I blew that one out. So two big companies all of a sudden know John Clark, right? Like I'm this big sales, crazy, nutty dude. And so before, this kind of reaction that you're seeing now is how I acted for those 2 years. And this is who I always have been, but you can't be this guy in corporate world because you got to treat people like numbers. I just went nuts when they went to inside. I mean, not that you have to, but in most cases, what I was doing, I was forced to if you did not have the numbers, you got to come down on people sort of thing, right? Like I was never somebody's manager. I was lucky. I never wanted to be a sales manager. I didn't want to take a pay cut. That's losing money for me when doing something like that. But I saw how they treated them and what they wanted them to do. So they had a job opening where I thought we had 2 branches in every state where I had been doing this stuff we're in 3 continents, right? I'm taking care of people all over the place. And they were going to send me. I'm like, they liked how fired up I was on emails and videos and stuff. I'm like, imagine me in person. Imagine me.
I love you in person. I couldn't imagine meeting you in person. Like, I love you on video already. I'm like, I've got to be friends with John. Like, I want to take you to dinner. I'm like, let's go party.
I don't know where this comes from. I'm 49 years old. I don't know where the energy thing comes from. It's not crack. It's not caffeine. It's not, I don't do anything bad anymore. I used to party like a rock star. I don't do anything, dude. I really just work. But when these kind of scenarios, when somebody asks me for help, like I help, it's funny how many agents I help all over the country. They call me and you had the balls to call me and ask me for help. You saw something that you thought I could help you with. Dude, you have no idea how goosebump moment that is for me and how hell-bent I am now on helping you with that particular thing that you saw in me that could help you. Like, and I don't want anything from it. I'm just like, dude, appreciate you, man. That's cool that you saw that. Like, because most people look for this, like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, God. This guy with the tie and all this,
real uptight.
I smoke like crack, man. I'm just not doing that. I used to wear a suit and tie when you didn't see my ass in an office calling all day. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to. I can talk how I want. I pick the clients I want. I fire clients if I want. Not that I don't need the money, but my wife, the part when I say she's like too good for me, it's not she's just too hot. The woman is a badass on base and makes great money. She could drop my ass like a bad habit and be just fine. That's why it keeps me on my toes. That's why I do my job. That's why I try to keep her happy because she doesn't need me. And that's when it fires me up every single day. You know what I mean? So there's, I'm lucky that way. Not everybody has that. That could be a reason why I act the way I do too, is she saw me take care of this family for a long time. We've gone back and forth. Helped her get her degree. She helped me finish my degree later on. She had her career she was going hard on. I did some things to sacrifice and then I went hard, did really well. And then I fell off a little bit when I left Shredded on principle because that job when I thought I was going to go around and fire people up turned out to be they wanted me to go because we were just bought for that $2.2 billion. They're a big call center company. They wanted me to go to all these 2 branches all over the states and convince these people to move to one of 5 regional call centers, or I had to drop them like a bad habit.
Oh. So you had to fire people.
So instead, build them up for 2 years, and now I should cut their legs out from under them. That's what you want me to do? Yeah, peace out. I'm out. Nope. So I quit while in Alabama throwing the huge multi-class reunion from 1955 until I graduated, or until 1999. On spot, they called me and said, "I need an answer." I'm like, "All right, that's what you're telling me. Peace out." So I left. For a short period of time, I did insurance, and my wife, it was for the friend. He's a phenomenal guy, but it's just not my gig. It's not very exciting for me. And my wife, my brother told me about EXP, a friend that John Poleski, that I've had a kind of a crazy long history with, and Mike Wall. They had a new office they opened up. He goes, "Hey man, give him a call." So I gave him a call, went and talked to him for a minute, and came back home. I said, "Man, Linda, this is really cool. They're kind of excited about having me out there." And he says he's been following me on LinkedIn for some time, and that's why pretty much where my number one on real estate and social media in the state of Ohio came from, is my following is on LinkedIn. Majority of my following is on LinkedIn, and it's all from those years at Shredded. I've got close to 30,000 followers there, which, well, on Instagram, you can buy your followers, okay? Unless you're a hot chick, don't get me wrong, Go-Go is cool, but she's smoking hot too, right? Not everybody that comes on with her, I'm sorry, is not going to end up like that. It's just not going to happen. It's a cool process, but it's kind of tough. I'm sorry, it's a real.
I get it. She's blonde and beautiful. And foreign, I get it.
Pay for it. That's just how it is. Like local agents here that have over 30,000 followers are not attractive people they're paying a shitload of money to somebody to up their followers to impress somebody. And I can go on there and look, oh, great. Well, how many houses are you going to sell in India next year? Never. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. But it just makes me mad because Property Spark puts out that stupid article every year, and I've never once been on it, to be honest with you. I just do all the research, and it always turns out that the top 5 don't even compete with just my LinkedIn profile, adding them together. So there's no chance. And so it just makes me mad. And I've sent them emails like, dude, be responsible, because they say they do LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And I'm like, if you did that, then there'd be a clear winner, brother. But either way.
They only do people that pay. You pay for that, and then you win.
All my stuff's organic. I make all of my own content, and that's why I think I became semi-popular on Honey Badger Group. I make the content anyway, only because I want to put good stuff on my profiles. So I decided to start using the logo that's right here on our podcast next year. Mm-hmm. That was how I do mine. And then I was like, well, I also have the EXP logos. Why don't I just make that motivational one with EXP in the background, or this one with EXP? And
I love
people know, please don't tag me and say, "Thank you, John, for making this." No, use it like it's yours. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound rude. I make it though, so you can act like it's yours. So you're the badass in your market. I'm the badass in my market. At least that's what I'm trying to go for, right? That's the goal. I'm not saying that I am. I'm sorry. That's what I'm going for. I'm competing against Andrew Gatosh and Mike Wall. And
I have no idea who those people are, but I know who John Clark is.
I was a fetus. You know what I mean? They've been doing. I think Gatosh's mom was in real estate for 30 years. The guy played basketball at UD. He's 50 and he's still handsome. It's not right. It's not right. It's not. His whole family's beautiful. It's just not right. So, and he's just an unbelievable, nice human being. So I compete against.
Then you can't get mad. I know that.
The only thing that I could do to compete, you know what happened? He's the one that fired me up. So I'm saying fired me up, motivated me. So when the Honey Badger Group, when I first started, it was only 4,000 of us, right? Maybe way back. So people used to go on there and say, "Hey, from California, man, who's the badass listing agent in Dayton, Ohio?" And let me tell you, 30 deep, Andrew Gatosh. And no joke, yeah, it probably was him. He's a pretty badass dude. But my goal was to replace that man's name with John Clark. That's my goal. So, I don't know if I can do it. I have no idea if I can swing it. It's probably going to be 20 years until it ever happens. But that's my goal. Well, I figured out fairly soon that by sharing all of this stuff and giving everybody all this free content,
give value.
Now it's John Clark everywhere for that. And funny enough, if it ends up somewhere close to where Andrew Gatosh, there's a community. He has a lake house, and it's a really beautiful locked in community. And I got a really great referral from Sean Romano, right down in Orlando, big YouTube dude, right, big bad. He won a EXP contest last year, won a big old thing. He sends me this thing. I see where it is. I send it to Andrew. Andrew owns that joint out there, man. He's going to take care of that client better than I could. I mean, don't get me wrong. We both love the client, do as best we can.
Right.
In my opinion, Andrew has that place locked down. That man should take care of the client. So that tells Sean, not only do I really care about clients, I should call John first again next time. You know what I mean? Like, that's what told him. And then Andrew and I are cool. He gave me access to his new office that he has, which he kind of did for EXP people. He didn't really market it with his name and stuff all over it. He just made an office. He gave me 4-digit code, said, man, anytime you needed to come bring people in, because, we're virtual. Like, I'm in my house right now, right? So he goes, anytime you want to come in, use it, anytime. Boom. I'm like, come on, man. That's what happens if EXP and Honey Badger Group every single day in, day out. Like, something cool like this happens. Somebody gives something and somebody offers something or somebody shares something. I don't know, man. It's incredible. So
I love it. The camaraderie is just unlike anything I've ever seen. And people just really build each other up. It's phenomenal.
I don't see a lot of punks in this. I mean, I've came across a few people that are just, like, I've posted some stuff like, you've probably seen my birthday video I do at 4 a.m, right? Like,
yep, I've seen it, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I ever saw with you. And I was an agent, brand new to EXP.
Lord.
I was like, who is this guy? What's wrong with him?
I'm going to Keller Williams. Yeah, no. That's what they allow over here. Okay, obviously they don't do drug testing. Yeah, so it's kind of I did
so what's going on with that? The birthday things, because I went on your TikTok and I was like, what is this? Like, how'd that start? What is it?
That's a great question. So the first year I started here, I went to this thing. It's called the Rebar event here in Dayton, and it's real estate. Basically, they bring people in from all over just to add value, different little classes throughout the day, right? And like vendors and cool stuff like that. So I was brand new. I mean, I wanted to go and kind of meet people and things like that. Excuse me. And went out there, and I heard one gentleman. And everybody seemed to have known him already. I think he was down in Cincinnati, and I feel bad now. I forget his name. But he apparently had got a lot of clout or got a lot of love online for birthday video, not birthday videos, but birthday, like in the morning.
Shout outs.
Instead of doing it on profile stuff, he messaged him every morning. Like everybody just says happy birthday real quick and puts it on your profile, right? He would just message him and send a video saying, hey, what's going on, Jessica? Just wanted to say happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.
I do that too, yeah.
Down and dirty.
Love that.
It's still beautiful because every day you're telling us. So a little secret about what I do with the same. I do the same. I was like, wow, that's a great idea. So if you go back to April 1st, because that's when I really started. I did it September of 2019 was when I first started this whole birthday video thing. But April 1st of 20 is when I started sticking them on YouTube. If you go to YouTube back then and see the first one and the progression of where I'm at right now and how I do them now, Lord have mercy, it's completely changed. Like I was like, hey, Jessica, so you share your birthday with Justin Timberlake today and blah, blah, blah today, and I was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And now I get in like, a bunch of facts. It's progressed. And now it doesn't take me anywhere. Now it takes me between 30 and 150 takes every morning at 4 a.m. to do this when I do it. I'm
sorry, say that again. How many?
So I get up every morning at 4 a.m. regardless. God wakes me up if I go to bed at 12 or I go to bed at 9. So I go to bed at 9 because I'm not an idiot. I'll try not to be at least that way. So I get up at 4 and I work out first for an hour. And then I take a shower, come down here, do my research real fast, and then boom, I do the video. And if I'm lucky, I'll get it done with, less than 30 takes. If not, sometimes it's taking 150. And believe me, I'm in a condo, luckily 2 floors away from my wife and my kid, because she would probably divorce me. And actually I had to move down here because I think I was doing it on the other floor. But the vents, I covered the vents and everything now. I say some of the most horrible things to myself in the morning when I mess that thing up.
Oh,
I'm really holding myself back right now in the language thing compared to how I mean, I can't. I don't know why. It's horrible in the morning. Like when I mess up, I'm like, but I'm screaming at myself. Like it's not anybody else. I'm just screaming at myself. So
okay. So I have a quick question. If you had to name your alter ego, what's your alter ego's name that talks to you that way?
Oh, Johnny Knoxville, man.
Johnny Knoxville.
If you look at my logo too, if you look at my logo for me, like any funny ass meme you see that I post, they're all mine. There's a logo at the bottom and it has a guy like this, on the bottom, and it says like a baseball face, and it says J Knox underneath it. That's me, J Knox, Johnny Knoxville. I've been called that for the last
I can see that
25 years probably. I've been called that. We're the same age. We've both been rocking Chucks since birth, apparently. My father's a pilot in the Army, so I've been wearing pilot glasses like him since we look. When my hair is like this, we're like a year apart. Literally, it's weird. Same Johnny, all this shit. It's weird how goofy and ugly and weird and gangly we are and shit. It's almost it's creepy. Like the funny thing is, we go to these fish fries and stuff here in Ohio, and I've had women come up to me left and right. My wife hates it. Like thinking, like straight up. I was going down to Alabama. 2 girls walked up to me at a gas station and got a picture with me because they thought I was wearing I wore a Jackass shirt. I play it up too. I wear a Jackass shirt. Like we went down to
Yes.
My buddy is actually born on leap years. It was like his 30th birthday. So really he was like, I don't know, 4 or some shit, or 7. But anyway, we went down to Opera House, and it was all these people are young professionals. We all made decent money and got out of a big fat limo, and it was 30 deep going around the side of the building. It's right over the river in Cincinnati and Kentucky. Real nice German cool bar. And but since we pulled up in a limo, right, and I got out, and I have the Jackass shirt, and I collect Chucks. I've got Chucks with the crutches on the side, right, on the
nice.
And I had the glasses on, shit. My hair was all done up and shit. And I'm the first one that got out. And dude, they let every one of us in the bar, and we're all sitting there like, shit, that was pretty cool. No idea. And I didn't say a word. I just jumped out of the car like goofy as hell, getting ready to go to the back. And they're like, come on in, cleared the line, brought us back.
Come on in.
We're drinking, and this guy's like, dude, you're not Johnny Knoxville. I was like, who the hell said I was Johnny Knoxville, dude? I'm like,
right.
Oh, God. I'm like, I'm already 3 sheets to the wind on the way down, right? So I'm looking down like, oh, shit, no wonder you thought. I was like, but no, man, I didn't say that, but I doubt very seriously you want to kick this group out. I'm like,
not now.
We ain't on this deal, but yeah, so it's fun, but that's the J Knox thing. That's probably my alter ego, unless there's somebody that curses a lot worse. I don't know.
I love it.
So what's your TikTok though? So like, I went on that because I'm starting to get more into TikTok as well. So like, are you just talking really fast, or like what's going on with that? I'm very, very intrigued by it though.
Well, it's I don't know how to say it. It's kind of talking fast, I guess. Yeah, I'm just like, hey, good morning and happy birthday. It's John Carter ready 40 minutes to get birthday breakdown. And I just I'm trying to do it as quick as possible. See, what I found out was when I was doing those videos before I was giving all these facts, right? And it was like, I was trying to keep it like about a minute just to keep people's attention.
Right.
And what I didn't realize was when I was popping that on Twitter and a couple other places, they cut you off at 45 seconds. I had no idea until like maybe a minute. Probably I was only getting like, 3/4 of my message out to somebody. And so I was like, Jesus. So then I trimmed it up and I was like, that sounds stupid. So eventually it just kind of molded into this weird thing. Because before it was I just wanted to say good morning, happy birthday. By the way, man, you share your birthday with some pretty cool people. Blah, blah, blah. And today's national day is X, that. And then it just went, dun, 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 and I got a little quicker. And then I was like, man, I'd really like to fit this person in too. And I'm like, all right, it's John Carter with your birthday breakdown. And then I found out about the 45 seconds. And I was like, it's John Clark with your 45-second birthday breakdown. Oh, shh. And then I was like, then it just.
Okay. Can you do today's for us?
Nope. I can't. Listen, I can't do it for you, but I can play it for you. See, because I get put on the spot. But like what I want to tell you seriously is I don't do that on one take. If I did it on one take, I would absolutely. So I had a guy that asked me in a podcast in Texas. God.
I respect that. It takes more than one take.
It takes a lot. But here you go. Ready? Smoking already. I just started conventions of a shop. All guys singing what he mentioned. And I are hugging these. And my dude, Nathan Lane, he's an actor and writer's career spent more than 40 plus years. He starred in hit musicals like The Producers Ain't Got the Dolls, and comedy flicks like The Birdcage. And don't forget my dude, Dennis Edwards. He's a lead singer of one of Motown's most popular R&B acts, The Temptations. His soulful voice contributed to hits like Papa Was a Rolling Stone and I Can't Get Next to You. And my dude, Vlade Divac, he was an NBA center from 89-05 with the Kings, the Lakers, and the Hornets. The Lakers traded him to the Hornets in 96 for an 18-year-old kid named Kobe Bryant. The rest is history. You also share your birthday with Morgan Fairchild, Sean Kingston, Blythe Danner, and Daddy Yankee. It is National Women's Physician Day and Donkey Date Night. So have a wonderful day. Please be safe.
That's so awesome.
That was really good.
It's it's just kind of progress. It's something to get your attention, right? But this is social media. The key word is social. So I work really freaking hard on these things, man. So I'll give you a little something that I do every morning, and you can give me, you're the first people actually I'm ever going to ask this question to, because I've never told anybody this, but it's something that I'm going to be putting in my social media class I'll be doing here in the next month or so here in Ohio. Hopefully we have a bunch of EXP agents pop on down here, but I'm very deliberate about my social media. So, you and I can be friends, cool, outside of here. And I'm not mad at you if, you don't really do stuff on social media, check in or whatever, but I'm not going to have you as my friend on here just so you can check in and check my shit out and just see my family or whatever I'm doing on my business if you're not supporting me and doing things on here as well. So or if there's not, I have another profile, Ryan. I've had a profile for, since Facebook started, with my family and everybody from all over the world that I've lived around for 3 years. And when I figured, because on that profile, everybody knows I'm a nut. Everybody knows I've been doing sales memes for 8 years since memes were a thing. I've been doing them. That's why I'm so good at them now with the real estate ones. I mean, to make them look nice and funny shit. You can't make stuff like this without being a sales guy, period. And
you're not going to understand the content. Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You can make it. You can steal other people's stuff or try to, but I make a lot of original stuff in this because I know it's funnier than hell because I went through it. I got kicked in the teeth, or I had to deal with this dipshit appraiser, or I got to deal with this, this mortgage person, or I got to deal with this client that thinks this, or they're going to have me go out when they're not pre-approved. I mean, these are all things we all think about. We all joke about. I'm just good at putting them down. And I aesthetically can't put crappy shit on my profiles. I got these stupid, people with bad English and the horrible English on their memes, and it looks stupid, like they wrote it in, I don't know. It just looks dumb. So that's why I started doing stuff originally, because I won't put ugly shit on my profile. So I started this profile because I thought I needed to keep, this is real estate, we got to be different. Is how I initially thought about it. Cause I just came from the corporate world, I've been trained to present yourself a certain way and what really kind of clicked, and I realized it's not that, it's the value that you bring to the people. Right. So I don't care if this suit and tie dude over here doesn't want me to sell his place in Oakwood, which is a nice town. I don't give a shit. I just sold 5 to 2 other people over here that really wanted me to. Between 2 people, they had, investment. They want me to because they can see I'm no joke. You know what I mean? They can see if you do even this much research on me, you want me to list your property. We're all the same when we put it on the MLS. Every one of us, I don't care who you are, the top guy or the bottom guy, you're the same when it's on the MLS. After that, it's all about your following. And there isn't anyone close in the state, period. I mean, so I mean, it's up to you if you can handle this, but all you got to do is handle that through the paperwork, and it's a wrap. I sell homes. I don't list them. You know what I mean? That's what most people do. They just oh, please list down. Let's get your paperwork. Boom, stick a sign in. They don't care how long it sits. I don't want mine there more than a day, period. So I sell it. I put it online. It goes everywhere. You know what I mean? It's I
love it. Yes.
Why would you want to do that?
No, market it. That's what you're supposed to do. As an agent, a good agent is going to be this is where I'm going to put it. I have all these sites. I have all when I tell people when I list houses, I'm this is how many people I have on Instagram. This is how many people that I have on my Facebook. Yes, it's not super, super impressive, but I'm getting it out there. Yeah.
You have a following. Listen, and at the end of the day, people, I always get off track about the being deliberate with being deliberate with social media. Every morning when I post that video on your profile, before I do that, I look at your profile. I look at you real quick and I say, okay, Ryan, where's Ryan? Okay, Ryan's with the EXP shit. I'm keeping him anyway, more than likely, unless you're some dipshit that like you'll find out later on this next part. I'll look at it before I post it and I look, okay, EXP, yep, definitely keeping him. Somebody in my town, not with my brokerage, but a realtor, and I kind of know who they are. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep them. I might be able to recruit them later. Or they are a possible client, right? They're close by. They're in my market. I'll keep them. Yep. Now I'm seeing people, because when I first started here, I friended everybody to get this profile built up on this side. And so I have been over the last 3 years, every day I'm going in and I'm popping people out. I've got badass realtors up in Cleveland, but they're with Keller Williams. I could care less about them. Boom, they're gone. I'll never refer anything to them, right? To that person probably. Because I've got so many gangsters in EXP up there, Albie Stasic and all those guys. I know everybody in Ohio. There's no way I will ever refer another piece of business to a different person, more than likely, like I have in my market, because I didn't have any people around here in Dayton in certain areas. But more than likely, I am only looking to refer business to EXP agents. So if there's no chance of me recruiting somebody, and I don't recruit, and this may sound bad, and I don't want this to sound bad because of who you're under, Jessica.
Okay. Go ahead.
Recruit people unless I can physically help them. I'm not going to be the guy that you're ever going to hear that has 700 people that he has no idea who the hell they are underneath him.
No, I respect that, honestly.
To me, it is, but it's a great paycheck, but it is, I could never do it. I just don't see it. And that's why all the people make fun of EXP is for that reason, because they think those people only do that. Now, if people are doing it right, which I believe your person actually is, Go-Go is doing it right. She has really good people here, and then it's going down that way. And that's what people don't understand. They think they just have passively. But there are a lot of people that are doing it just kind of like, yeah. I've had agents ask me in California, hey, man, let me start with you. And I'm like, dude, I don't know your MLS. I don't know your rules. I don't know jack shit about that. The only thing I could do is fire you up. I can fire anybody up in the world. It doesn't matter where you are. Call me. I'll tell you the best. I'll make you great. I swear to God, you'll turn around. You'll think you're on fire. You'll be able to kill it. But I'm not going to have you sign up underneath me and take responsibility for your future with me in real estate if I can't physically be there to help you, or I can't help you with a contract, or I can't do stuff. Now, if you have somebody there, that's who I'll probably set you up with, that person, and be in their good graces. But I want my people to have somebody there. And
that's what the mentor is good though for too, though.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, but that's not what I'm hearing. So
what did you say, Ryan? Say it again.
I just became a certified mentor. I just became a certified mentor in December, only because I do it anyway. I figure, what the hell, might as well get
it. Exactly.
100%.
I've been doing this since birth. I mean, I do it for free because I want. It's like I said earlier, if you want it, I want to help you. So might as well. I mean, shit, might as well get paid for it too. You know what I mean? But I've got a lot to share with people, and a lot of ways to make you separate yourself from people around here. Real easy to do, actually, with some technology and things like that. But not you're the one thing that you can do. Just, are you on a team or are you by yourself?
I actually am on a team. Okay,
cool. So even better. So the one thing I had a couple of women that started with the Love Ohio Living team I was on last year. Well, I've been on there since I started. I was with them, and I left last April. Great guys. I was Mike Wall and all these guys, but they're we had a couple of women that started there, and they came from brokerages that really didn't. Well, one of them didn't. One just that started, but the other one that came from brokers was just treated like garbage. Apparently, she just seemed defeated and all that, and you could tell she's a sweetheart. Wow, wonderful person. And I said, man, listen, if you're on a team, the best thing you could possibly do to start getting business immediately is share every single person's information, every single listing, every single under contract post from your team, because our attention spans are about this big, and we don't look to see if it says Jessica Taylor sold it. We just see, damn, Jessica Taylor's got a bunch of sales on there. Holy shit!
I will tell you, I do that all the time. I do Team Go-Go. I do anything that's on. I'm part of a premier group, is what it is with EXP.
Good,
and they just unleash the most incredible stuff. They're doing revenue share within the team.
Good. Well, everybody should be doing it. Everybody, not just everybody sharing the rock star stuff. It should be the rock star sharing everybody else's stuff too.
It's
it
great.
shows support for everybody, and you'd be surprised how much it changes cultures, man. It really does. It did at that place. And it's a really, really, really good thing to do. But so that's,
Love it.
of course, that's my opinion on that other thing, by the way, just the,
Yeah. So how did you get into I know it's natural, but to actually get into it specifically, how did you get into the coaching role?
The coaching with.
Well, I just seen your Instagram. It said you're a coach. So.
Oh, well, I've coached soccer. I coached basketball. I've also been, I've been coaching sales just since it's never been like an official, I guess, role. No, I mean an official role in that, like, I'd say I should never been compensated for it. I should say it's always been official. Well, you
kind of are though with the mentor and stuff like that, and your people in your downline, you're getting compensated and you're coaching.
I do because
separate thing.
I just got, so I've had a guy that I signed up last year who was my partner when I first, actually he's the other Dayton homeboy, which, by the way, that's him and I doing the investment stuff. Dayton, this stuff, the Dayton home team. I just didn't want people to think they needed to get jumped in to be in my real estate company. So I didn't want them to think they got to be a homeboy. You know what I mean? So even though it's a play on words, some people seem to think it's some kind of gangster shit. But anyway.
Oh shoot, yeah, no, I thought that at first, but yeah,
a lot of people. It's funny, man. Like they're like, but even people all over the country, like, dude, let me get a sweatshirt, let me get a hat. I'm like, dude, but I just lived here, like guys are like, dude, let me get a hat, man. I like that Dayton homeboy stuff. It's some people are asking me that aren't in the right industry either, so I don't want to really mess with that too much. I
mean, $100 a hat. I mean, you don't care about money, but you know what I mean. Put it up there, $500 a hat. If you want a hat, this is what it is.
They all come with a house.
There you go.
Yes, that's exactly.
Every new house comes with a hat. Yeah, no, but the coaching thing, I did it myself. I've always taken it upon myself. If there was somebody lacking on a team, I don't like it. At least if they had, if they were a POS, right? Somebody that came to work and just were trying to get by,
right.
I'll never help them, let them fall off. If it's somebody that I know just needs some help, I've been around too many teams that just had suspect management that just pounded, make calls, but didn't actually tell somebody how to make a call or show somebody how to make like, I don't respect and never have respected a coach that can't beat me. Like in soccer, when I played on the Alabama State select team. I played competitively. If that coach, like my coach was from West Point, was the captain and could put me in the ground in a New York minute. And yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full. And I learned more from that man than any time in my entire life. And it's because he could put me in my place. It's the same with sales. I've had managers before who were off the charts, unbelievable human beings, and they were ridiculously good salespeople. And then I've had guys, they were just badass drill sergeant assholes that could tell you to make numbers, but could never make a call themselves and close a damn thing. So, and so I would always, I've always been a sales guy, man. All it is asking a few questions, figure out what they need, match up with what you got. Mm-hmm. It's a wrap, press hard.
That's it. Yeah. The best salespeople ask the best questions. That's all it is just asking questions.
Dude, it's an easier job that way, right? Hey, tell me exactly why you're looking for a house. Shut up. Take notes. Yep. At the very, the best thing, the easiest thing to remember is probably, if you're going to give a little presentation or something, it's always going to be, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them, right? Get the question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
close. Yeah.
My son's doing a paper now, right? And that's exactly what it is, from introduction to summary to conclusion, right? It's tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Same thing with questions, man. All it is, hey, why are you looking for this type of house? And there's really, if you want to get really down to it, there's only 2 questions you ever really need to ask. Is like, hey, what do you absolutely have to have, or you can't move into it? It has to have 3 bedroom, has to have this, and this, or my family can't because we just can't. Family's just big.
Right.
And then magically, after we get that, that's the main one. That's the only one you really need. Second one is, now, if based on what we found out you're qualified for and what you're looking for in this town, now, if I can get you a couple other things, what would you like if I can, wave a magic wand to get something? Would a fenced in yard be a little bit of a bonus? With 2 cars versus 1 be a, kind of neat. Then a basement, woo, tell me what's up. And then when they say, why is that important? Tell me more. Dude, listen, that's 3. You asked 3 questions. You're a genius.
Just listen. You gotta listen.
And at the end, you write down, and at the end, what is it? It's like, okay, Ryan and Jessica, so you just moved here from Raleigh. Awesome. Okay, so your family needs to go to this school because it's your kid's a straight A student. This is a great school. Understood. You've got this much money. You got this right here. You know, like you repeat that. Is that sound? You know, the whole time you're like, right, Jessica?
Yeah.
Right, Ryan? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, press hard. Second copy's yours, right? Like, here, sign this right here. Let's go ahead and start looking for this stat. You know, it's like, it's not, people make it into something much harder than what it is. And what most people do is I see them get online and they cry and they complain about how real estate sucks and they switch brokerages left and right like underwear. And unfortunately, what they're doing is they're chasing checks, and they're not even salespeople. They're not even people that have even tried to do the business, because honestly, at EXP, based on, I mean, I used to, I wouldn't say super user, but pretty damn close to being a super user for Salesforce, right? Like, so it's a lot like, it's a CRM system, much like TV Core, to where we can put anybody that complains about a CRM system should quit sales immediately, because either that, or they have a steel trap memory. Now, I don't remember what I did yesterday, so I need a CRM, because when Jessica tells me she can't talk to me right now, but because she's planning a wedding for her sister and she's her bridesmaid and she's doing everything. And John, I really want to talk to you. I really want to get this done, but man, I can't this second because she's the most important thing in the world to me. And so, hey, listen, when's this wedding going on? It's going to happen on March 1st. Perfect. Tell you what, great. Have a great time. Best of luck. I'll give you a call sometime after that. Sound good? The second we get off the phone, March 3rd, March 5th, something like that. Right. I'm putting in the CRM, follow back up with Jessica, ask her how that wedding was. Did it go off without a hitch like she thought? And when I call back and say, Jessica, how was that wedding? You're going to think I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
Yes.
Because it was super important to you. I heard that on the phone. And then I followed up to ask you how that was. And I didn't bust your balls until then. I didn't bust you up until after this super important thing. Because guess what? I listened, you know, and I'm really not that good. I heard it.
You listen.
I wrote it down.
You gotta listen.
I put a reminder to ask you about that same thing, and a month later, 2 months later, and now I look like a rock star, and you can't wait to work with me. You know,
Love it.
it's not. This is not brain surgery. This is how it is in every sales job. It's it literally is. It's a matter of just showing up, do the work. You have to have conversations, whether it's on social media, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text message. Something. You need to talk to 10 people a day at a minimum. 20 people would be better, of course. Even more is even better. The reason why I went this social media route is because making phone calls and getting called an asshole for half of the day is not as fun like a root canal. So I figured real quick when I was on LinkedIn that if I did a really cool message with a neat picture and put it out with all these people that I was like, bing, 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 and trying to, follow and research. It was a good way for me to find my CEOs and CFOs and stuff like that I was trying to get into for appointments as well. That's why I used LinkedIn, was to maneuver my way to the decision makers.
How did you grow your LinkedIn so well? Because that one, a lot of people struggle with LinkedIn.
That's the hardest one for anybody to get typically. Yeah. But so I wrote a lot. If you look at my profile and go back a little bit, you'll see I wrote a lot of articles. I share a lot of motivational content. I share a lot of other people's stuff. I'll tell you what the key to LinkedIn and blowing LinkedIn is if you find it. So the way I look at things is your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So everything I put out, the people that like it or follow it and share stuff, those are my people. Like I could care less. The people that don't like it, I can easily get rid of them and put another person right in their spot, right? Like, so
right.
It's every day. It's the same thing. This is the part I think I told you earlier. I was going to tell you is the deliberate about social media portion. When I check my birthday message, when I send it to you the day before, like I'll check it 2 days later and I go back and I'm about to post the ones for the people that day. It still shows you the ones that you posted, the 2 days prior. I go back and look at those videos to see if the person, what they did. If they didn't like it or say thank you, I fucking delete them and their friendship. Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. That's such a bad.
You're fine. It's totally good.
I delete the video and I get rid of the person.
Oh, that's a good way to weed them out. Okay.
And a lot of times, if they just like it, I get rid of them too.
I mean, you put in a lot of work.
Birthday, I got 500 people say happy birthday, and I said thank you to every single person. Like I loved and said thank you to every single person, and that was just on this profile. That doesn't include my 200 and something on the other one of my close friends and the 1,000 something that happens on LinkedIn every damn year. Every single person gets thanked. And it's because they took the time to say happy birthday to me, even if it's a stupid button they push. On LinkedIn, they can just push a button that says happy birthday. I always hit a button that says thank you with an extra little emoji at the end so they know it's not that random ass button, that you just push. And but that's why I am now getting more genuine relationships with people. And I will continue to do this until I don't have anybody but 5,000 people that go rah, rah, rah every time John posts something.
Yay, John.
Every time, I don't care if Ryan or Jessica is with EXP. I don't care if you're with Keller. I don't care if you're with Colwell. If you do good business in my market and you're a good person and you're doing good things in the community and I catch it, I blow you up. I every time I close with somebody, I do 5-star Google reviews for them if they weren't a piece of crap. If they were a good person, I do that there. I mean, and I'm part of Yelp Elite. So it goes on Yelp Elite, it goes on Google. And if they're not on those places, I start them there. And then, Google Maps, I blow these people up on their own pages. And I mean, I invite people to blow up their business pages and stuff, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if they're from EXP. If they do good business in my town, they will get blown up like they, you know what I mean? But if they don't,
I love that. That's such a fantastic concept. That's game changing right there.
Jessica, I'm quite certain there's probably things that you do that there's no chance in hell that I could do. Right. Like, and Ryan, same thing. I know for a fact you guys could probably sell more houses than me, maybe get more recruits than me or something. Nobody can do what John Clark does, period. You just can't, you can't do it. It's impossible to do what I do. It's impossible for me to do what Jessica does. And so I'm trying to be as unique as possible. And my thing is show love. My thing is, I don't need the check so bad that I need to screw somebody. I don't need a check so bad that I need to cut corners. I don't need a check so bad that I need to lie to my client ever. I'm never going to risk somebody's family or financial situation by something that'll probably make my life better for 5 freaking minutes. It's listen, I did a lot of crazy shit in my life, literally stuff that probably I'm not very proud of when I, never to anybody else, always pretty much to myself, dumb stuff, but at the end of the day, when I go meet this guy, one day, he's probably going to come up with something like, you started off pretty suspect there, Clark. But you came back strong in the end, man. Come on in. That's what I'm hoping for. Because I flipped it, man. I flipped it quite a while back, man. And I'm on this straight, like, let's give thing and see what happens kind of a deal. And
love it.
So far, it's been pretty lovely, man.
I love that.
That's wonderful.
Sure easier to get up, tell you what.
I'm sure. Well, that is a wonderful segue for us to end this. Thank you so much for coming on. Giving to other people is 100% what we're here for, to make an impact. And I really think your vibes and what you're bringing to this community of EXP, honey badgers, and to your community specifically is really making an impact. So we give you kudos, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all having me on, and thank you very much. I think I'm pretty lucky to be to have I aligned myself with a specific person when I came to this place, not a brokerage. And so I got kind of lucky that he was with the right one. Although don't get me wrong, I did my research on all of them prior to signing the paperwork, but I got real lucky with that. But that to me ultimately is what you should be going after anyway, is not a name on the wall. You should be going after the person that actually gives a shit about your future and is not going to let you fall flat. Because at the end of the day, if I can give one last thing as we go,
absolutely.
One reason why I love this place more than anything is you're not compensated for people that you sign on unless you help them be successful, right? So like in a lot of places, I go to these Hondros things, when I used to be with this team and I'd go there to recruit, you know what I mean? And and I sit back, and honestly, I more just sit back and listen to people because they're all so full of crap. because most of them bring people in, and what they do is they bring them in, they get a little spiff on them if they stay for so long, right? But they bring them back and they put them on an island and then they bounce. And you go grab some more people to throw on an island, but they don't really.
Right.
The stories I'm hearing, it's more like there's no incentive the way the program is set up for you to really be there for the success of this person. So I like this, and I like the fact that short of the mentor program, you're not really taking any money out of your buddy's pocket that you bring on, or the person's pocket you bring on. They've got to pay the brokerage anyway. We all do. And brokerage gives back to us for saying, thanks for bringing them on, man. Appreciate this. And let's keep it rocking. So it's just it's a way better setup for me, man. This is like the place I should have been working at. Well, I guess it wasn't around when I should have been working at it, but either way, from day one, I should have been here. But yeah, thanks again for having me on, guys.
Of course.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
All right, guys. We will see you next time. Thank you again, John. We greatly appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Sure. Yep,
Bye.
Bye.